Hello everybody, this is Gary Legier, the Mars Revealer. But as of the past week, it seems more like I am also revealing something else to be brought forth as a revelation, as you all will see and not see. You'll see. But it has been literally brought to my attention of a message to the earth. Yes, no kidding. One of which I think and feel everybody should at least watch and listen to. The implications is enormous and staggering and can be quite frightening for many people, depending on what you can see or not see. But this bizarre story and message to us all that will all unfold here is derived from upon finding of a movie clip from the beginning of a movie called Pineapple Express. From what is said about it, it is an alternate opening, an alternate skit, an alternate beginning. And this clip is the thing that shows us what it actually is. And it's a hidden code, right in plain sight, yet hidden. This code is telling us of a secret group appearing to be Masonic in nature, yet with the flair of Nazi added under them. With the twist, they are American military, secret military, having secrets. One side wanting to see and know more when he becomes enlightened, thanks to one of my best friends, Tom, who had helped me to see also more into that this was passing information to us, telling us of their side of being a part of this group, as it were. Well, we will get into that later. Many interesting paths and information is being provided for us. But the thing is, we have to think about it. That's what codes are. You think they're easy to crack codes? I mean, and I'm not a code guy or a puzzle guy, which makes this all the more bizarre. But it's been more of a compelling, more of a leading and a guiding feeling. And make no mistake, people, about what you're going to hear tonight. I am totally convinced that this is real, and I am totally convinced that this is leading us somewhere. More ways than one, okay? But it appears that this code and this message is wanting to tell the people and talk to the people about this. The other side, however, wants nothing to do with that. Now, personally speaking, this sounds eerily familiar, I would say, in many ways. I see it relates to much these days of similarities, what you will see and hear here, and compare to with what is being pushed by many today, especially like in the Coast to Coast and so many other of the so-called alternate or alternative, science talks and radio shows and conferences and movies and whatnot. But this will mainly resemble a lot about especially what a Dr. Hoagland has been also doing and talking about. A hidden secret code, Nazis and Masons, secret American military with awesome technology, and etc., etc., etc. For instance, I want to put this all down again here now, because this was in written form, but now I want to put it all down here now in a video and audio form, to make it more thorough as to what is actually being seen than when first presented, because new information always changes the old. Remember that, as you could see or not see. So the name of this clip, however, that we're going to be talking about that provides this code is called Item 9. And this Item 9 original posting was based upon the moment after watching it and just speaking out loud and tossing out things I see and what others may see or not see. One of my best friends, Tom, stepped up, and was also Mean Green also stepped up, as will be explained in chronological ordering and in following studies. That's right. But I think I must redo this Item 9 post and create it in a video mode, because there are indeed twists and turns here in this study, and I think one may need more focus and therefore more light to torch you. Tom, in his seeing, also into this code skit, was able to help me secure my rationalizing more so into what I thought and started to believe in what I was seeing, to show me that indeed I was right. But evidence is looking more and more like such that it is the truth. But that tale, as many Nazis, is hidden in this skit of a movie. An alternate skit add-on, no less. More on that later again. But it is remarkable of what the scene that unfolds. As comical it is in many ways, and I'm sure offensive to some people, especially due to the nature and the revelation of this message. You will not be offended if you see. If you not see, you may be offended. But if you see, you will see that it is the greatest thing ever. That the scene that unfolds, as comical as it is in many ways, it is also staring at us all in the face. Why? Simply because we all can watch the thing. Now, well, that should sound like it makes sense, right? Now, let me adjust this Item 9 study video by putting down information noted and noticed in a chronological order for you to best follow this skit with its secret hidden code. I will be reading out to you the text of how this was laid out. so that you could hear without having to strain your eyes or anything, or have any kind of distraction. Because I know many of you today need your TVs. I just don't like the reprogramming given to us. Hint, hint. Anyway, I like to say that the eye, the eye that you see with, and the eye that we all see as being used as a symbol, has been around for many, many years. In modern times, as many know, and know much more about than myself, has come to be known as a symbol used that represents the Masons. This is not the first such media, also I'm going to say right now, with which I have had a little experience with over the past 5 years from yet another video series dealing with hidden code, UFO Diaries. Another Mason attributed and connected media outlet telling us all some very interesting things, especially about a certain Dr. Hoagland and his secret involvement in that, as well as to those connections that was attributed and alleged against him regards his connections to those images and providing them. But this is not what this is about, or is it? A little tickle, tickle, tickle? But it may indeed be connected. Anyway, UFO Diaries is not a movie, but I think it doesn't matter. That's the point here. You know, even though UFO Diaries wasn't a movie, it was a documentary. And this is a skit from a movie, but I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters what venue that this code could be applied. I believe it could be applied, if I believe I'm right in what I'm seeing, it could be documentaries, audio, radio, conferences, anything, everything, books. Think about that. Anything. I can be wrong, of course. Yet, how is any of this possible then? Especially for myself to contemplate the reality of it as I am literally and have been experiencing it and learning about it. As if I'm being guided or trying to be taught. And I think all this time was trying to lead me to this, of what we're going to see tonight, to this particular video clip. Because without any of which of my previous experience, I would never have been able to see anything in this. I guarantee you that right now. So you're just going to have to take my word on all that. Because it is the truth. But it's the symbolism, connections, and the call to ears to show that some form of dialogue is going on in these things that makes me wonder if these Masons are communicating with each other inside of them, as well as it seems to be trying at the same time to let people who do see this code that can use their intelligence and grasp the information being communicated from them. I mean, I see it, and I feel it, and I hear it. I see something. Someone in this was trying to tell us something, as well as them speaking to whom it was directed at in this skit, which would be what? Themselves in my mindset? If they're communicating to themselves, but yet it seems like still something's wrong. So I think it's also meant to be directed at us, who are what? The not sees? The people who not sees what's in front of their face? Who not sees the hidden code? Very possible. Let's continue and see if I'm right. But what you see is yet to be determined. So then I ask myself, so how can I see this? Why do I see this? It is not crazy. It is there. How can you not see this? That alone in that term should also make you all think. Those whom are not sees are those whom are not sees who not see what I am saying? Or what they are saying? Or all the above? I agree, weird, bizarre, impossible. Yet I see something. That is why I wanted you all to see something also. I ain't the only one, as we shall see as well. Someone not wants us to be not sees. Information is trying to be given to us, used in a skit for a movie. Interesting, to say the least. You know what's also funny? Is that I can attribute this all to a subject of seeing this resemble kind of like the code story of UFO Diaries and the Faces of Mars Mysterious Pictures. Again, I can't get out of my head. Other than the weed that you saw in this video, instead of the weed, think of the Faces of Mars images. And me in that room and speaking to a patch-faced guy named Dick. This is really something. It still fits. That's how I was able to see this. If I am right about this, how do I hone in on it to use it to my advantage to bring out this truth? Because I know there's a lot of Nazis out there, and I am thinking of the last Terminator movie as well, as I think about this code and all these different venues and shapes and form. What was the plot of that last Terminator movie, I might ask? I wonder, but maybe we all should? So, to begin from the beginning, my buddy Tom noticed in the opening of the scene, when the MIB, Men in Black, and Patch, that's how he got his name, folks, and Patch are getting out of the car, look at Patch's uniform. The pants, the boots, and the leather strap going over the right shoulder. When was the last time you saw a U.S. military officer's uniform look like the Nazi uniform? Plus, notice also in the text on the screen as this was going on, people, as he was getting out of the car, it stated 1937, United States of America. So I think he brings up a good point at that time. 1937? What's wrong with that picture? Or does no one not see this? But anyway, notice that they walk up to a rock. The rock gets lifted. They enter through a square and circle. The square frame with the circular tube. When they get to the bottom of the ladder, you can see that there are windows with the sun shining in. However, they are underground. And here is something else that's funny, Tom continues. When Patch gets downstairs, he says,
"When did it start?"
Lazy Eye says,
At 0500, we're 7 minutes in.
all right, 60 seconds in a minute. Times 7 equals 420. Get it? Miller's getting high. Plus 13 seconds equals 433. Common denominator of 3 is 3, and 4 is 2. What do you get? 233. Now turn it around. 332, or just 32. Look at some of the Nazi symbols, for example, especially the Skull and Bones. There is the number 32 at the bottom. And Yale's Skull and Bones members use the same number. It's the order of the Death's Head Nazis. It's also the highest degree of the Masons. And he said,
Okay, Private Miller, you've been smoking item 9 for 7 minutes and 13 seconds. We're going to ask you several questions. How do you feel?
I feel like a slice of butter melting.
which would be square, right?
Melting on top of a big old pile of flapjacks. Yeah.
Which are round.
This is gonna be awesome! You said it!
Man, you guys feel anything yet?
I feel kind of funny. I got a bellyache.
We shouldn't have did this, man.
I'd like to add something to the fact here, to add under the notion of what Tom's seen, is that what he was describing was the very opening scene. Pun intended. The opening scene of The Rock. What did you see? A square and a circle, right? But he's saying,
I feel like a slice of butter melting on top of a big old pile of flapjacks.
like Tom noticed, which is square, all right? Melting on top of a pile of flapjacks, which are round.
Yeah.
Now look at that tube. That tube kind of looks like it has one on top of the other because it has those grooves. So in a way, those look like the pile of flapjacks.
Yeah.
Why melting? Because we have to notice that they're melting inside the flapjacks, going down inside, because if you notice, the melting goes down, right? So it's going down the flapjacks. All right? He's not talking on the surface. It looks like, oh, he's hungry because he's getting high, but no, he's describing if we see that and notice the symbolism or what he says to attribute it to the rock hatch being opened.
Yeah.
Noticing the symbology of the square and circle going inside, straight down, mind you, going straight down inside to where you have windows with sun shining in, or is that an implication that even though they're underground, they see everything that's going on outside? Think about it. I think that's an interesting note here. Make note of it. Remember what I said last night, Gary? A square could also be two triangles back to back inside a sphere. Anybody up for a big old pile 19.5?
19.5 is a significant number in the Bible. It symbolizes faith. In biblical numerics, 19 is associated with the most faithful people and the greatest promises in the Bible. The 0.5 of this number represents grace and hope.
And that is precisely what
the Martian Revelator
and his associates have continued to do. Hope.
We thought our hopes would finally bear fruit.
Also, I watched it a couple more times. First, two of the two men in black looking guys in the background. And then I write, and notice also, as my buddy Mean Green pointed out to me, more obvious, another symbol that can be recognized to folks these days familiar with that look, the eye patch. The Secret Service man is wearing an eye patch, which we had noticed at the beginning, remember? With the German-looking American military uniform back in 1937. What connections to that patch is one that fits? Anyone? Tom now said, remember Hoagland and the eye patch you loved to show as a rocket? That patch was connected to Unit Sword blog about Hoagland that you shown me. And yes, indeed, that is where I got it to use it. It fits. And then Tom wrote, the eye patch is Masonic, but I think it has more to do with symbolism, like the single eye above the pyramid, the eye of Horus. Symbolically, the one eye cannot see in duality. It can only see either the good or evil in people. So the American soldier Nazi patchman walks up with some doctor to the window with a certain Private Miller sitting inside the contained sealed room smoking a joint. Remember, 420, the math again, the minutes. So this is symbolism also of what he's smoking.